Okay, so welcome to today's video. Today we're going to talk about how much cardio you need to do to lose fat. And in reality, it's a lot less than you think. So I'm a sweaty mess, look a sweaty mess because I've just got up, I've done my fasted cardio. Now, if we look at why we're doing cardio and exercise in general, if our goal is to lose body fat, we have to think about what drives fat loss. And this is one very simple thing, it's being in a calorie deficit. Now, how this essentially works is you can have what's called CCO, it's in calories in versus calories out. So calories in is how many calories we consume on a daily basis. Calories out is how many calories we burn on a daily basis. So we have something called our basal metabolic rate, which is the amount of calories our body burns at rest. Essentially almost like as if we were in a coma, how many calories our body burn every single day. In addition to that, we have a couple of other things. We have thermic effect of food. So when your body's breaking down food that burns calories, we have what's called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, so that's general movement like walking, and then we have exercise on top of that as well. So those are the main things that drive calories being burned every single day in terms of calories out. Now, if we look at the primary goal being fat loss, if we are looking to burn around 1 pound of body fat per week, we need to lose 3,500 calories per week in a calorie deficit. Now, why is this 3,500 calories? Because there's 3,500 calories in 1 pound of body fat. So therefore, for you to lose 1 pound of body fat per week, you need to be in a deficit of 500 calories every single day, which means you need to be burning every day 500 calories more than you consume. Then you lose 1 pound per week. You do that for a year, hypothetically you use 52 pounds every year. You would be super set and shredded, as simple as that. Now, when we actually look at this in practical terms, this means that actually, in reality, you don't necessarily have to do cardio. But cardio is a great tool that can be used in terms of create more of an energy deficit or to allow you to eat more calories so then you can obviously burn some off. So how do you find out how much cardio you need to be doing, Charlie? Is the question you're probably asking right now, rather than talking riddles. So the reality is this, we want to establish what your maintenance calories are. So for example, if you eat 2,500 calories a day, and that's where you're maintaining weight, and you're doing, say, no cardio, for example, you might lift weights 3-4 times a week, awesome, that's maintenance for you. Now what we need to ascertain from that is then, okay, we need to drop your calories into a deficit of 500 a day. So you could drop your calories in by 250 calories, and you could burn an extra 250 calories a day by, for example, doing 25 minutes cardio would be an easy way to do that. So if we look at practical terms, for most people, what I suggest you do is you want to start with the least and slowly scale things up. So for example, if your goal is to start a fat loss journey, I would suggest the days you're not doing weight training, you want to do some sort of type of cardiovascular work, you want to probably reduce your calories and carbs in those days because you don't need as much energy because you're not training. And this is what we want to think about. We want to think about giving our body food and energy when it actually needs it. So having more carbs, for example, on a day when you're not lifting weights and you're not getting jacked, is probably not going to make as much sense. So the simple thing to think about here is that give your body food when it needs it, in terms of having carbs during the workout as well as an example, and that will help you with fat loss. So another great metric to track is using something called obviously NEAT, like I referred to earlier, in terms of how many steps you're doing every day. So a great way, like even if you don't want to go to the gym and you want to lose body fat, if you went for a walk every day for an hour and you ate the same amount of calories you do now, you would start to lose weight because you can burn an extra 300, 400 calories a day. And that's a really effective way to do that, particularly if you live in a really nice place. Like I've got Dubai behind me, it's a nice place to walk when it's not the summer, it's not sweaty as arseholes. That would be a really good way for you to do that. So if you don't want to go to the gym, you don't want to work out, go for a walk every day for an hour. One of the best things you can do for overall health and for fat loss. Now, when you're looking to try and scale these things up, a lot of people talk about doing HIIT workouts. HIIT, I'm going to say this again, HIIT is terrible for fat loss. Now let me explain why. HIIT, if you can only do, for example, 6 to 8 rounds on a spin bike, you're not going to burn that many calories, maybe like 150. There's something called EPOC, so post-exercise oxygen consumption being increased, basically from doing HIIT workouts, but that's not going to burn tons and tons of calories. Now what we want to think about is if we could do something like a longer duration, like walking, or for example using a cross trainer, then that's going to be a really effective way for you to burn more calories, be in more of a deficit and lose more body fat. Now when we look at the types of equipment I like to use personally for cardiovascular work and for fat loss, then these are very simple things. Personally I like the cross trainer because there's zero impact. I'm flat-footed like a duck, so something like running for me would be the worst thing ever. And I'd also say running is probably the worst thing for fat loss for most people. Now, if I explain why running is the worst thing for fat loss for most people, if your goal is to lose body fat and you're running, chances are you're probably overweight, chances are you're probably very heavy, chances are that's going to put a lot of stress on your joints, which probably aren't used to running, which is why you're overweight. So if we think about that as a limiting factor in how many calories you can burn because your knee or back starts to hurt, this would be why running's not a good example. You would be better off actually walking for a longer period of time, and then you would have more success with that. So that's a very simple thing I would think about in terms of why running is a great example. But if you look at using things like the cross trainer to low impact, I also like the Stairmaster, as long as you're not holding onto it and like huddled over like a dwarf. Like you want to keep the weight actually on the muscles to make it hard. Now, when we look at where our heart rate needs to be for optimal fat loss, we want to look at this exact fat burning zone. Now, in terms of where your heart rate needs to be, we're going to be looking around 120 to 140 beats per minute is optimal fat burning. Once we go over 140, we go into more of an anaerobic state. This is where you're at the risk of burning more muscle tissue. You're also going to be working very, very hard. So this is a situation where you're probably not going to be able to push it for that long period of time. So ideally, you want to keep heart rate between 120 to 140. Now, when we look at the effects of cardiovascular and how to track that in terms of heart rate, most machines have heart rate monitors you can hold on to. You can also get something like a Garmin watch, Apple Watch, Oura Rings. All these sort of things are really effective in terms of tracking your heart rate for fat loss. So these are some really important things to think about. Now, to summarize, we talked about how much cardio you need to be doing for fat loss and how much you actually need to be doing. I can guarantee you right now, you could lose shitloads of body fat, get shredded, doing minimal cardio. I just competed, got in the best shape of my life, and I did the least amount of cardio I've ever done. Previously, I was doing 60 minutes every single day. I think I even got up to like 2 hours at one point. This year it's been scaled back massively. I think like at the moment I'm just doing 5 days a minute, 5 sessions a week, 25 minutes, 120 to 130 beats per minute on the cross trainer Stairmaster. I watch videos on my iPad, time myself along, have a jolly old time, get sweaty, burn some body fat, and it's good times. But the reality is for you to drop body fat and get super shredded without doing cardio is very, very simple. Now, the simplicity for you to get lean and lose body fat whilst not doing any cardio is down to one very simple thing. And that one simple thing is maths. Calories in versus calories out. And it's having a proven plan that will actually work for you. And this is how you can be time efficient in terms of actually getting results of what you're doing. Now, the key thing with this right now is for you to understand that if your calories in terms of your diet is fucking off and not correct, nothing's going to work. It's like putting diesel in a Formula 1 car. And this is what CJ Coaching gets such good results with clients in terms of how we can get you crushing it whilst eating more food at the right times and giving your body the exact amount of nutrients it needs to get optimal results. If this is something that you want and you want to know how to burn body fat, get in great shape and not be doing fucking hours of cardio every day, then message me on Instagram with the word coaching to find out exactly how I can help you, or you can hit the link below this video where you can book in your free 6-pack strategy call. If this video was insightful, I dropped loads of knowledge bombs. Make sure you smash the like button, comment below any fat loss, cardio related questions. I'll come back to you with a detailed answer. Make sure you subscribe to the notification bell so we can drop in loads more content to help you get in the best shape of your life. And we'll see you next video very, very soon.